In this video, I'll introduce you to the reports page, show you how to build a report, and show you how to subscribe to reports so that you can receive them to your email inbox. First, let's take a look at the reports page. All of the reports that you create will be listed here on the reports page. They'll be listed by report type, report name, date range, and the scheduling, whether weekly or monthly, of the email subscriptions. You can also see all of the email addresses that are subscribed to receive this report in email format, as well as the status of that subscription, whether it's active or inactive. And you can also see the last date in which this report was modified on, and you can sort by any of these fields. If you ever need to delete an existing report, you just simply check the box next to the report and go up to the top and click delete. Same thing if you ever need to enable or disable an email subscription, you would just check the box next to the report and then go up here and click enable or disable the subscription. If you ever need to make mass changes to your report, such as deleting a bunch of reports, you can open up this drop-down box to where you could see 25, 50, or even 100 of your reports. That way you can make mass changes. If you ever need to edit an existing report, we do have an edit button over here to the right. It looks like a pencil symbol. You just click that button and you can edit an existing report. Same thing with running an existing report. You just go over here and click what looks like a play symbol. That's the run button. And that'll allow you to run an existing report. And finally, the most important thing when it comes to creating a new report, you go up here to the top right corner of the screen and click the New Report button. When you click that, you're going to see this very familiar box pop up, and this is the same box that pops up for every report and every chart. And so once you get the hang of how to build reports or how to build charts, you can build any of the reports or any of the charts. They're built the exact same way. So once you can build one, you can build them all. Now the first thing you'll do is select the type of report that you want to run. You open up this drop-down box, you can see we have 4 different types of reports. The first type is the fleet analysis, and these reports will focus on your equipment. The next type is the event response report. This report will allow you to see the details of events such as checklists completed, impacts registered, and drive session data. The next category of reports is the workforce analysis reports. These reports, they focus on your operators, the ones that are actually driving the equipment. And the last type of report is the operator compliance report. These reports, you can see things like speed violations, seatbelt violations, and parking brake violations. I'll go ahead and select the utilization KPI report, and we'll run that. The portal does require that you name the report, and so I will go ahead and do that now. I recommend naming your reports something that is a bit descriptive, and that'll help you on the reports page as you're looking for reports that you've already created. You can also enter in a description for your report if you think that would help you find your report later, but that is not required. The description isn't. Next, I'll point out the 4 different tabs for building your report. The first tab is the Equipment tab, and on this tab, you're going to select the equipment that you want to see on your report. So you really have 2 main options in this drop-down box. You can either select the site to see all of the trucks at a site, or you can select equipment if you want to see specific trucks at a site. So I'll go ahead and select site, and I will find my site here that I want to run on this report. And you can also select your trucks by class or type of truck. If you would like, you would just select or unselect any of the classes that you want to see on this report. The next tab is the Date Range tab, and here you've got a couple of different options. Let's say you wanted to see just data from, let's say, March 1st to March 31st. What you would do is select a custom date range, and then you can select your dates that you want to see. You also have another option. You can select one of these pre-made date ranges. We have pre-made date ranges anywhere from the last 12 hours to the last year and anything in between. And so for this particular report, I'll go ahead and select the last month. And then if you'd like to, you can also consider shift time for this particular report, as well as with the workforce KPI report. And that way, as you're running the report, it's going to look at the date range as well as the days of the week that you select. And also, it'll look at your shifts if you have shifts set up. And so in this case, I could select first and second shift or just first shift if that's all I wanted to see. I could also select particular days of the week if I wanted to. And when it comes to setting up shift times, I'll show you where that's done. That's done under Account Settings. You'll click Account Settings. You'll go down here to the bottom left and click Shift. And then if you want to set up a new shift, you just click the New button. And you can name your shift. You can enter in the start time and the end time. As you can see, I already have first shift and second shift created. And so that's going to be available when I create my utilization KPI and my workforce KPI reports. And so back to our report, the next tab is the Options tab. And depending on which report you're creating, this tab will give you different report options. The first option you have is whether you want to see all data together or if you want to separate the data by months or by years, just depending on what you want to see. I'm going to go ahead and select all data. The next option is the default view of the report. So this gives you the option where you can either expand the report manually, and that's the collapse option, or you can go ahead and select the expand up to option, and this will automatically have those options, whether site, department, or equipment. It'll already have the report open. It will have it expanded. The next option is the equipment identifiers option, and just depending on which terms you use, whether product ID or asset ID or service ID, whichever ones you use to identify your trucks on a regular basis, that can just be the ones that you select. So you don't have to have all of these options on your reports. So you can select or deselect any of these. So I'll go ahead and keep all of them up there just so you can see what that looks like. The next option is our unit of measurement. Depending on where you're located, you'll use the metric system or the imperial system. And the next option is, what do you want this to be measured in terms of? What measurements do you want to see? Do you want to see monthly average, daily averages, or total usage? So you can select all three, or you can just select one or two. I'm going to go ahead and select total usage. The next thing you see are the service meters and the statistical meters. And these are listed out. Now keep in mind that depending on the make or the model of the equipment, we may or may not track certain meters. And there are many options as far as service meters and statistical meters go. We collect the data for the service meters. We collect that directly from the truck. So that's being reported. Main service meter, drive motor, hydraulic, transmission, odometer, all that we're getting directly from the truck. And then statistical meters, a lot of these we are taking service meters and we're running them through certain formulas in order to calculate the statistical meters. And so I'm interested in usage, so I'm going to select key switch on time, working duration, and idle time, and I'll compare those three. And the last tab down here is a tab we added recently for our fuel cell equipment. So if you have a Nuvera truck with the Nuvera fuel cell, you've got a few different options as far as service meters that you can see there. If we're ready to save our report and go back to our reports page, we can click Save Report, but we're not done yet. Our last tab is the tab that allows you to set up email subscriptions. And so the first option you have is whether or not to make the subscription active or inactive. So if you check this box, then this email subscription is going to be active. And the next thing we decide is whether we want to see this report on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. So if you choose weekly, this option allows you to select the days of the week that you want to receive this report on. If you select monthly, which is what I'm going to do for this particular report, this option allows you to select the day of the month that you want to receive the report on. And so I'll go ahead and select the first day of the month. The next option we have is the format that it's going to come in. we've got two options here, the PDF format or the Excel format. I'll go ahead and select Excel. And then what time of day do you want to receive this report on? I'll go ahead and select 7 a.m. And then if you want to receive this particular report to your own email address, you'll see your email address here with a little box next to it. If you want to receive this email, then you just check the box next to your email address. Now, if you'd like to add other email addresses, you'll go down here to the bottom and click the Add button. And then you can come down and enter in as many email addresses as you would like, separated by a comma only. And then you click Done when you're done. And now, my email address is going to receive this email as well as the two email addresses that I just entered. And so we are ready to go. We can save our report, and that would take us back to the reports page. But if you'd like to run the report, you can click Save and Run Report. And it's going to load our report. And the first thing that I'll point out is at the top here, you see this little floppy disk symbol. This is going to allow you to export any of the reports that you create. That's one of the greatest things about our reports. Not only can you subscribe to receive any of these reports to your email inbox, but you can also export any of these reports after you run them. So we've got a few different options you can export these reports to. And then just taking a look at our report itself, you scroll down, you can see the report is already expanded to show each truck at this site, and we're able to see key switch on, working duration, and idle time, and we can compare that usage. And then if we were to jump back to our reports page, we can see the report that we just created is now on our reports page, and the subscription is active. If you need any help with reports or any other part of the portal, please give us a call at 1-844-984-1758. That's 1-844-984-1758. Or you can email us at telemetrysupport@heister-yale.com. That's telemetrysupport@heister-yale.com.